On a rainy day in July, who would have imagined that more than 100 children would gather at a scenic venue in Drums, Pennsylvania to play music? The late Father Joseph Ferrara did when he created what is known as Ferrwood Music Camp. On this day, music filled the air inside and out at a facility originally known as the Luzerne Fresh Air Camp.
The original camp started in the 20s as a healthcare facility, actually, for children predisposed to tuberculosis. And then when the disease was eradicated, Father Joe Ferrara found it hidden in the weeds, and he created a place for his music programs to come in the summer.
That was in 1967. Now, more than 50 years later, Father Joe's legacy continues thanks to an army of volunteers and the management of the Can Do Community Foundation. The organization has had the camp stabilized, preserved, and placed on the National Register of Historic Places. So many talented musicians playing a variety of instruments here at Ferrwood Music Camp. But thanks to Father Joe Ferrara, the founder of this camp, it all started with a flutophone.
Father Joe started all of the kids, regardless of their age, on the flutophone or recorder, and taught them to read music. All of the kids who are here actually read music. They are not doing it by ear, and he always saw that as a separate language, a separate skill, and vital to a musician.
Younger children enjoy a week of day camp while the older students stay overnight. Jack Sanoski began as a camper and turned his love of music into a career.
Learning to play an instrument and learning to play in an ensemble, that sort of, the skills that you learn in that environment are like essential to whatever you end up going into, because it helps you communicate with people, it helps you connect with people.
Lance Laster has been a camp instructor for 3 years. He makes this trek all the way from Houston, Texas.
I got my master's degree at Temple University, and I knew a lot of the people that work here, and they, in the summertime, there's like, do you need a summer job? And I was like, yeah. And so that's how I got hooked up here. This is our warm-up period, and so we're doing a lot of it's like stretching for brass instruments. We're getting our faces in shape and ready to do the more advanced stuff later on. We just need a good foundational, good warm-up.
The rain did not deter first-year percussion instructor Sean Slattery. This music education major at Westchester University learned about the camp from a classmate, Claire McCarthy, who is now in her 6th year at Ferrwood. What makes you keep coming back?
The kids. It's one of those things, this isn't quite a traditional music camp. Like, we have our structure, we have our free time, but even with all the free time and like all the outside and stuff like that, like really magical things happen musically here. It's very cool.
In an age of video games and cell phones, how important is it to have a place like this?
It's so important. Getting away from the screens for a minute, being outside for a long period of time, doing something that you're connecting with other people constantly. So, we're all face to face here. It's a different world than I'm sure a lot of these kids are used to, but it's so important to have this.
Important but not easy. With an array of students comes an array of talent levels, and then there's the weather.
We come here in the morning, we get breakfast, we have this is our lesson time, so we're here from 9 a.m. to 11:15 with a little break. That's where they are right now. We work on fundamentals for trumpet playing, and then we split into sectionals to work on their band music. After lunch, they get some free time, and then we have the concert band rehearsal, and then dinner, and then they have the symphonic band and the wind ensemble in the evening, and there's also a jazz band. So as instructors, we teach, and then we sit in and play on the different groups. We work with small groups, large groups, private lessons. We're just kind of working with whoever needs help throughout the day.
While learning an instrument is not an easy task, there are some challenges that may surprise you.
I'm learning actually because I have braces, so brass is harder, so I'm learning how to develop and like range development and build more of an endurance, because the 7 hours, or like 5 to 7 hours, let's say, it's a lot, especially with braces. By the end of the day, I'm bleeding, so it's interesting, but by the end of these 3 weeks after that, then it'll be all calloused, and then it'll be better for it after playing for so long.
Instrumentalists were not the only talented performers. Just listen to this talented group of vocalists. Camper Marissa Klatch summed it all up perfectly.
Music is important to this world because it really, really is everything. Music is something you can use to lift yourself up from the darkest points in your life. You can use it to accentuate the highest parts of your life. You can use it no matter what you are feeling in that moment. It is something that, even for myself, I use it extremely therapeutically. It is something that the world needs. We need music in this world. We need it supported, and especially for young people, having a creative, healthy outlet to express yourself like music is extremely important.
What do you think Father Joe would say if he saw what's going on here today?
I think Father Joe would be proud. You know, we know that he's still watching over us. There's no doubt in our mind. You know, we try and do everything right, but sometimes you just have to rely on a higher power, and he's come through for us every time.
If you would like to make a donation, sponsor a camper, or find out more information, log on to ferwoodmusiccamp.org. And if you'd like to hear this talented group for yourself, stop by for a free concert this Friday night at Ferrwood Music Camp. Reporting from Drums for SSPTV News, I'm Lisa Sugart.